It is your nasty attitude that is preventing you from getting pussy, okay? Just go, they don't care about how they look, they're slobs, they just watch anime all day, play video games all day, they have those waifu pillows. It's not nobody's fault.
So in this video, guys, I will be reacting to a video that went semi-viral a little bit. I saw this on TikTok a while ago, and I decided to give my own 2 cents and opinions on this. I am not bullying. I am just giving my own discourse and critiques and criticisms of this person's opinion. And they have every right to be entitled to their own opinion. But speaking of titles, this video is titled Asian Men Are Bitter, and that's why Asian women don't like you.
Maybe these women look down on you because you look down on yourself. You have a chip on your shoulder, and it's not cute. Are you proud of being angry? You're just projecting your own self-hatred onto people who look like you who are of the opposite sex. Hello.
Wait, her name is Lin. Trời ơi, she the Vietnamese hả?
This person, named Asian Manosphere, said, "Can you please make a video about why Asian women complain about racism and white supremacy, but absolutely refuse to date Asian guys?"
So a couple things here. When it comes to these types of comments, you can't necessarily generalize across the whole board for Asian people, because within Asia there's a lot of different countries, lots of different opinions within Asia, and this person just might be a complete troll where they're trying to get a reaction out of you. They're projecting their projections, so they're getting a reaction and they're getting what you want, and you eventually made a 12-minute video about that. Anyways, I digress. By the way, I am not on any side. I am not Asian Manosphere. But anyways, I'm just gonna let that comment just
except for your own. If I was a single woman reading this comment or a comment like this, I would not want to touch you with a 10-foot pole, okay? You think that Asian women are the problem? No, you are the problem. I don't know what happened in your life to cause you to be like this, but it's sad. And you're down bad. I sense that there's probably been a lot of rejection in your life. Not because you don't match some kind of physical masculine perception that you think you should have, or that you're unrealistically thinking that you could date someone outside of your league. I really do think that it's probably your personality. And that's a hard pill to swallow. I really don't understand why you would want me to make a video about this, because just because I'm Asian doesn't mean that I share the same sentiment as you do. Unfortunately, Asian men tend to not.
So you're not going to say the person does not share the same sentiment because y'all are both Asian, but there's a big generalization on the title already where it says Asian men are bitter, and that's why Asian women don't like you. As a fellow content creator, I get what they're trying to do with clickbait, but
not have the traditional masculine physical traits that a lot of Western women tend to like. And that's not any fault of your own, because it's your physical genetics that don't allow for that. And I understand that that's fine. Western women.
Traditional masculine physical traits. Once again, that is a very broad generalization. And they put a picture of these 3 actors. I only know Tom Cruise. But this person not know about people like Daniel Henney and other various Asian people in Asian movies and pop culture that can have these types of looks? So I'm guessing what this creator is saying over here is she's portraying that Asians are more feminine. Is that by deduction? I don't know.
It's that a lot of Western women tend to like, and that's not any fault of your own, because it's your physical genetics that don't allow for that. And I understand.
Your physical genetics don't allow you to look more masculine. I'm like, there's so many ways I can take this. Kim Jong-gook, shout out to Turbo. One sexy dude, right? No pause at all. Looks like he is 20. He's almost 50, right? Yoshihiro Akiyama, Sexy Yama. If that ain't sexy, if that ain't masculine, I don't know where this little compare and contrast is going here.
thing on their list. It's more about being a provider, having a good job, being driven, putting family before self, and doing what needs to be done. And funny enough, that's actually how a lot of traditional Asian cultures view masculinity. Like, my dad isn't going to be on the cover of GQ or anything like that, but he is a provider. He takes care of his family. He literally took my family across the ocean to escape communism. He is the definition of doing what needs to be done.
So from there, she's trying to portray the patriarchal family household. Some people, conservatives, might agree, some liberals might not. But let's continue.
And to be seen as a romantic partner as opposed to a friend. There's no friendship in the fucking primitive world. There's only survival. And it just seems to be, in my perspective, that a lot of these Asian incels are never going to be the first people to make a move. You know, they're the hover handers, you know what I mean? But honestly, I think there is a phenomenon of Asian men who tend to have these incelish kind of tendencies that aren't willing to do anything like that. A lot of them let themselves go. They don't care about how they look. They're slobs. They just watch anime all day, play video games all day. They have those waifu pillows.
What is wrong with watching anime and playing games all day and having a body pillow? You know how much famous ballin' Twitch streamers out there that are just, that's their full-time job? Millions, bro. We're talking millions.
Ironically, we all know that's not true. You wonder why you repel women. Of course you repel women. What the fuck are you talking about? You're an incel through and through. You're a dork, you're a weeb, and you're an incel. So what you're essentially doing is you're using the excuse that you don't look like the kind of man that those women want, when in reality, no one actually cares that you don't look like a Giga Chad. It's that your personality and your work ethic sucks. And don't think I don't know. I've actually been very interested in manosphere content on YouTube. Yes, Asians do tend to date outside of their race, or are, I want to say tend to, they are more open to dating.
Tend to or more open, that is, I don't know, that's a very big blanket statement. I think most people actually prefer or date within their own races. If you look across the majority, I'm pretty sure I can pull up some stats here where most people date within their race, and interracial marriages may be common in certain areas, but for the most part of the world, most people date their own race. Anyways.
Dating outside of their race, but it's not like there's none that don't. And if you can't even find Asian girls that date within their race, that's not their fault. That's your fault. And also, if Asian women have no problem with dating outside their race,
why is it my fault?
Why don't you? Yes, we all have our preferences, sure. But is the reason why you're targeting Asian girls is because you think that you're entitled to them somehow? Or is it that you're settling for them because you don't think that you can get anyone else? Your closed-mindedness about women of your own race is holding you back. You're just projecting your own self-hatred onto people who look like you who are of the opposite sex. I already told you, I would not touch you with a 10-foot pole, but let me tell you something else. No one of any race would touch you with a 10-foot pole if this is how you think you should behave.
I can understand from both sides. One, you know, you get rude comments and then you want to project hate. Someone projects hate on you, purposely or not purposely. And who knows, maybe having some empathy for this guy and not labeling him an incel will take away that whole projection and the sort of, you know, maybe he's struggling, man. And maybe it's just not Asians. Maybe it's across the board where there's a subset of guys out there who just really lonely, don't know what to do themselves, and they spew hate. And I'm not saying I'm justifying this message. What I'm saying is put yourself in their shoes, right? And to understand, hurt people. And maybe this person was trying to get a reaction out of you, and they got a 12-minute video out of that, right? If you were to hate a specific race because people think you're entitled to date, I'm like, man, it's a free world, man. You can hang out, hook up, do whoever it is. But you can't deny for a fact that there are instances of this sort of self-hatred that needs to be talked about and have an open discussion about. And there were a lot of really blanket statements. Maybe that's just to poke people and get a reaction out of them, like saying Asian men aren't masculine, or They don't have certain genetic tendencies that look to the beauty standard of, Western world. But, where do those assumptions and generalizations come from? And when you say a lot of things like Asian men blank, where is this information coming from? Like you had a little anecdote where you and your partner were walking down, the stairs or whatever, and then there's a little moment of chivalry, right? That one anecdote cannot be blanket statement across Asians across the board. And I also was watching another video where they're like, that initial video got a lot of hate, and people were like, hey, don't talk anything about my partner, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, we're on YouTube. This is essentially a free for all. Not to be mean, but when it comes to YouTube comments and criticism and critiques, your partners is also in 20 of your other videos. And if you really didn't want someone to be talking about your partner, they wouldn't be in front of the camera in the first place, right? A lot of people keep a lot of their personal lives off of YouTube because YouTube is not a safe space, says my therapist. YouTube itself is a place where you can, talk to the masses if you're lucky and talented enough and be able to voice somewhat of a fair judgment. Because if you don't, and it's very skewed and biased, and it comes from a very negative charged place, the YouTube people will let you know. And what I mean by that is most people will give you their 2 cents in the comments. But yeah, that's my 2 thoughts on it. Let people be people, do whatever you want. But there is layers of understanding what beauty standard is and how that affects certain people's and mindset. But it should not be, like I said, I actually agree with this creator and being like, it shouldn't be your only reason that you limit yourself from being or living up to your fullest potential, right? But yeah, that's my 2 cents on this. I think that's enough. I kind of skimmed through the rest of the video. Maybe more reaction videos to come. You let me know. You guys let me know.